But, it's love.
You know it's love cause you fight so hard that when you finally get what you were fighting for, you don't want it no more. You know it's love cause you bite your tongue.
Marijuana is the dried leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds from the cannabis sativa or cannabis indica plant. The National Institute on Drug Abuse defining the plant contains the mind-altering chemical THC and other similar compounds. Authorities report marijuana is one of the most used drugs nationwide, and its use only growing. Statistics showing in 2021, 35.4% of young adults 18 to 25 used marijuana the year prior. That's a recorded 11.8 million people. Its use, however, is similar to that of alcohol, and in our region, you must be 21 to partake. Hafa Day, I'm Matsuki Hirayama. Welcome to a new KUAM special, Marijuana Marianas. The past decade, government and health officials have been cultivating the use of marijuana. September 2018, the CNMI was the first to legalize it for recreational use in our Paradise region. 7 months later, in April 2019, Guam's governor signed off on legislation allowing the same to roll out here in the territory. Marijuana is still regulated with limitations for users and growers. The endgame hopes to mirror what states do, grow their economy with this popular plant, but doing so responsibly. Tonight, we speak with some in the cannabis community about our region's journey, some would call a slow burner.
I'm pretty sure my best friend.
You were telling me earlier that not only cannabis, but plants in general need 3 important things.
Yeah, of course, light food and proper temperature and humidity, and they'll grow.
All right. And you wanted to show us where you actually cultivate.
Yeah, I'd love to show you some of the plants that I have growing in here. Show you some of the plants over here. A lot of people use cannabis to medicate. I'm a veteran with a medically diagnosed PTSD, so I use cannabis to medicate for a lot of my symptoms, to include depression, anxiety, chronic back pain, and a few other issues that come along with PTSD. And I tried to be a little bit anonymous when I first started, kind of just, not really put my face out there. But as I continue to advocate for cannabis, I realized that I need to be out there and in front of the community to help remove the stigma that comes along with cannabis. Definitely a negative stigma to cannabis use. And I think it's just from a long time of misinformation being put out there. And now a lot of us are trying to advocate by helping normalize it and showing that just because we use cannabis, we can't be productive members of society, which a lot of us are. Business owners, professionals in the community using cannabis to.
And tell me about your process of cultivating marijuana. We have one literally right here behind us.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so I still consider myself a beginner. I have grown several runs, as we call them, of a couple plants from start to finish. My process that I use, and there are different processes, is I usually start from seed. The other process that people use is cloning. So when I say start from seed, is I take the seed and I germinate it, and then I do that in a couple different steps, and then I put it into the soil and I let it grow from there.
Your love it is enough. Your love it is enough for me. Wise up, oh. Your love it is enough. Your love it is enough.
Our little setup here is just to help us, feed our plants properly. One of the things we have here in our setup that we're trying out is oxygenating our water. So, well, we're doing 2 things here. We're letting the water sit so we can get rid of the chlorine in the water. So that way it doesn't kill the microbacteria that's still needed for the plants to grow. And also by oxygenating the water, just puts more oxygen into the water, which plants love.
Why is it so important that you help out these people in the community, whether for medical or personal use, to be giving out free cannabis?
So the reason why we try to give out free cannabis is because unfortunately the illicit market is very expensive. And we also see in the States that because of taxes, because of taxes are so high, the illicit market grows because these people are going out to get cannabis and cannabis products. It's not safe when you're not getting it from a reputable source. And we see this a lot in the news stateside. So what we try to do is give out a product, build a brand that the community can trust, and give them a product that we know is safe and that we grew ourselves and kept clean so for them to consume.
Right, and I feel like all of this stems from us as an island not having, I mean, I know that cannabis was legalized several years ago now, but even so, up to today, we don't have like lab testing and we don't have a lab. So what are your thoughts on that?
Right, so I do feel that it is good to have a lab to test these products that are going to be consumed by the public. I mean, we have labs to test, of course, all these other products that we consume, right? They get tested. However, I do believe that it is also it's a crop that, you know, there are rules to how to grow it. And I think even without a lab, we can continue to grow, to move forward, to grow the cannabis industry.
It's differentiated into different sectors: cultivating, manufacturing, testing, and retail. So one cannot do all of that in their business and have one license, or buy multiple licenses in order to do that legally. Many of the people who have maintained their licenses in 2019 have suffered because of the delayment of the regulations.
So it's very hard for local cannabis consumers to get it because of where we're at. There are people that need medicine, mononco, that use it.
Medicinal versus recreational have lit up the discussion over the years. Next up, we review our journey in Guam to get this industry rolling. This is a KUAM special, Marijuana Marianas. The medicinal use of cannabis has always been easier for the community to grasp, but today it's a recreational use that is tougher for some to accept. You're watching a KUAM special, Marijuana Marianas. We now take a look at Guam's history, reigniting our steps to see how it all sparked.
The Guam Medical Association appreciates the intent of the bill and appreciates that it is to benefit and help patients. However, we have yet to come up with a support of the bill and would like to have a bigger conversation before the bill comes to fruition.
I've seen what this could potentially help me with. I could probably sleep better at night. I could probably get up in the morning and not be in pain. But I don't know because I haven't been given a chance yet.
And the governor understands that. He's very concerned about that part of it. He understands the pain and the suffering. He really would be in favor of this kind of thing if the regulatory issues were resolved.
The Guam Society and the AMA recommends that indeed the National Institutes of Health, the Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Food and Drug Administration conduct clinical research and change medical marijuana from a Schedule I substance to a different schedule to allow more clinical research and trials to indeed determine whether there is medical benefits, if you will, to the use of marijuana.
Marijuana essentially is a mind-altering or changes the function of the brain and potentially has some toxicity to the brain long term.
I think you're going to kill this program. The voters of Guam said yes to medical marijuana, and you regulators are going to kill it.
Guam chose the time to do this right, working with the Department of Health, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Tax, all at the same table to say how are we going to regulate this in the safest way possible. Many states like Colorado, Oregon, Washington, They all got in too early and they didn't know how to do pesticide testing or standardization of products.
It's about time. It's something that's going to help out people that are terminally ill, and instead of going out to, shelling out expenses to go off island.
But I'll tell you what, you're going to get sky high. You're going to get stoned. Yes, yes, you need education on that because you're dealing with, that's marijuana. That's dope.
Medical cannabis has been legal in Guam since the signing of the Casey Conception Compassionate Act 3 years ago. But the lack of set standards means today, patients still have no access.
Like I said, this whole bill's going way outside the ballpark of what Department of Health was mandated. The law says 4 areas they were to come up with things for. They could have done this a long time ago.
I believe there's nothing wrong with the marijuana. It's just that people have different reaction to it.
In fact, it makes me perform better. And I shouldn't have to feel like a criminal going and buying a roll of papers or, trying to, grow a little plant. I don't bother anybody and it should be my choice.
The hard drugs are here and they're getting worse. If I had anything to do, I would pour all the money into beefing up the police department and to go after the problem because it's out of hand. We're losing our island and I'd like to see us take our island back.
And there was a testimony by one person there also intervening who said, oh, kids are already taking drugs now. They're selling it. So what's the big deal? Let's pass this law. So what, we're gonna worsen the situation?
Leon Guerrero made the highly anticipated announcement.
I have decided to sign the Bill 32 into law.
Sponsor Senator Rigel offered his thanks.
I know it's a difficult decision to make, and I know there was a lot of discussion in the community about it, but ultimately I think this is the best decision for the island.
The biggest thing that swayed me is how, as a governor, leader in this community, should I decide to make sure that I am comfortable and confident that we are protecting the community and we're providing a safer environment.
I love to bake. I love to incorporate infusions like canna butter, THC, infused coconut organic oil, and it's just a bunch of stuff that I love to do for the people of Guam who need it because it's medicinal.
I train every day. I don't take any performance enhancing supplements, but some days I'm really too sore or I can't make it back to the gym. But sometimes I smoke to go to sleep, and sometimes I smoke to even go to training because my body's so sore.
So we're definitely getting closer to being able to license, give an actual or issue an actual business license for a cannabis business.
Social media pages have blazed a trail of its own to stay connected with others in the cannabis community. It's gaining traction while lacing itself within a fine line to stay legal. Up next on your KUAM special Marijuana Marianas, others in this very community speak out in hopes to change the stigma still felt by many. We'll be right back. Local law enforcement have caught on with the legalization of cannabis here, but it still doesn't mean you can light up wherever you want to. Welcome back to your KUAM News Special Marijuana Marianas. The cannabis community chimes in, hoping officials write out the issues that's led to constant delays.
I grew up around it, since as far as I can remember, little boy.
And when did you start recreationally using marijuana?
Young. Young. Yeah, let's just say that.
Can I get a one time for the one time? 2 times for the good vibes. 3 times for the sunlight coming through the window. It's about to be a good ride. Ay, 4 times for the red rice. 5 times I'm in paradise. Yeah. 6 times for the island I'm from. Shout out to the 671. I pull up, running with a team. You know how it be. Stories on my.
And what was it like when it finally got legalized in Guam?
I didn't care. It wasn't like, it wasn't anything big. It was around everywhere. It was, like I said, it was the lifestyle. It's the island lifestyle.
And that's what your Songi Sessions is promoting?
Yes, yes. Show the world like what we do here. The raw images, you know, like what Guam really looks like. Yeah.
And do you also cultivate or grow your own marijuana?
Small kind, yeah.
How is that? Is that tough in our environment or like
No, it's perfect. Yeah. I mean, some may say like our weather is not so good, but if you give it the right conditions, then it can grow perfect. We teach people how to grow, clone, basically how to take care of the plant. It's just like planting any other vegetable or fruit. Yeah, put the seed in the dirt and just let it grow. Give it some roots here and there. Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask if you can share like the best time to grow marijuana. Is there a specific like time or?
Before summer and after summer.
And why is that?
It's just you got a little bit of the drought. There's not so much rain during those times. Yeah. For me, for everybody is different, but for me it works better for me. It works best for me.
Meditation, meditation, Kali herb is the healing of the nation, healing of the nation. Kali herb, yes it calm me nerves, calm me. Kali herb is the healing of the nation, healing of the nation. It brings peace and uponness. Let I
Cannabis is something that can thrive very much so, but with all plants, sourcing your seeds are very important, especially for the types of stalks you would like to grow.
Your heart's getting tired and you're losing your grip from sitting close to my fire, and it burns a little bit. And if you feel like getting higher, baby, I'll be your lift. If you be what inspires.
But for the overall environment, sun and atmosphere, cannabis can thrive in farms and actually have been proven to help as a co-crop. For example, in New Zealand, they used it as a aiding crop for their grape vineyards, and there have been tests that they ran, and it showed that it gave better quality to the grapes, and it helped the plant itself grow into more abundance compared to when when cannabis was not present within its growing area.
From the very first time I laid my eyes on you, you got me like, should I spit some game? Should I make my move? This type of attraction got me feeling like dancing. So groove with me, girl. I'll groove with you, and we can dance.
There have been cannabis or hemp-derived businesses that have emerged, such as the Relief Shop and Gateway, and also some retail shops hold CBD and hemp-derived products. Yes, but no types of THC cannabis products which provide a euphoric effect.
System music sure sounds good to me. I can't refuse it, so what does it got to be? I feel like
What are your thoughts on our current status right now?
Personally, I feel that our leaders are just unsure of which direction to focus on and how we could use our funds to the most efficient advantage. So we're very unique in our position. We're an island, we're a US territory. We have very small resources, and we can't just simply get imports because they're very expensive. So we need to work with what we have.
Guam was not the first in the region to make cannabis legal for recreational use. Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda wrote it out months prior. More on that when your KUAM special returns. You're watching Marijuana Marianas. Welcome back. You're watching a KUM special, Marijuana Marianas. Now we turn to our neighbors up north and the state of the industry in the Northern Mariana Islands. Our regional correspondent Tomas Manconia unraveling it all.
We do everything from production to retail, and just recently we also have our processing license. So production is planting it in simple term, and retail is selling it, and then processing is taking some of the byproduct of our cannabis and making it into concentrates and the next level, which is what we're striving for, is edibles and whatnot. There are some restrictions to that, but we're getting there. Yeah.
Never let it come and get me down. You'll never ever reach my spoken sounds. Yeah, you don't hear what I speak. Listen down to my feet, taking words and reciprocate. Call it off when you need. Take your time to release.
So can you just tell us a little bit about how the community has been reacting? Have they been, coming in?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the reaction of the public has been very supportive. We found that we have a lot of manamcos that come. They really do get a lot of help with, the chronic pains and the ailments that you have. It has its medicinal value, which is really important. And that's how my husband and I got to starting with, thinking, yes, we would like to have marijuana legalized and start the business. Was he had surgery, and they had given him opioids, and they're just too strong. And the irony of it was he tried to get medication of dronabinol, which is a marijuana in pill form. We thought, well, it should be recreational if we're going to open up a dispensary and take away the stigma, because a lot of people, really do look a little bit differently at you if, they're saying, oh, you use that? It's like, oh, well, there's a lot of judgmental, attitude towards it.
When I am missing you, kissing you, here with you. How I love you so. I'm in love by the
We get customers that ask, why is it that price? The price tag said this. Well, we have taxes, so, and that's an important part, because the component of trying to make it not available in the black market so that it's at an affordable price for people, then it becomes, it becomes a commodity that becomes supported by the community.
Is the black market still an issue? Do you see that, unauthorized sales or growth?
I think there is, but I also think that I know from what people tell me is that we're giving the black market a hard time, because the prices that we have, because of the volume that we produce, makes us the ability to put our product out at a really low price, affordable price.
I feel like I don't wanna do anything, 'cause I can't rid myself of all the pressure. And every day life seems to get the best of me. I just gotta keep going.
We clone, and we try to make sure that we have about 78 clones per strain whenever we're trying to clone them, so that we have a good batch that we harvest. when harvest is really good, you know, sometimes the weight of the weed is, the cannabis is much higher. Let's say, you know, per plant, it will range from 25 to 30 grams. That allows us to gauge, you know, putting out sales.
You know, so every time when they buy and they walk out, I say, hey, thank you, you know, because at the end of the day, number one, it's legal in the CNMI. It's a recreational product where in some states it's medicinal, where you're required to have a prescription. So I tell people it's like going to a regular mom and pop store and buying alcohol.
Sometimes I feel like it's just only me all by myself. Am I supposed to put all of my trust in someone else? Am I supposed to act like somebody that I'm not? Do I sit around and let somebody take my spot? Do I keep waiting for some kind of miracle? I've been patient, but friends seem to come.
How do you feel the current cannabis economy or industry is doing on Guam?
I strongly feel that it's very behind the curve. Saipan, our younger brothers and sisters to the north, have jumped into the industry.
What do you think the future of the cannabis industry is for Guam, and what do you hope for our industry?
Our organization hopes for a more green economy. Not only do we want the cannabis industry to thrive in many aspects, but we also want the industry to promote a sustainable, friendly opportunity for Guam.
Clearly, Guam and the CNMI still have more steps to take to finally have a fully flourishing regulated cannabis industry. A reminder, it's legal to recreationally use marijuana only for adults 21 and older. It allows for limited homegrown cultivation for personal use. Thank you for watching this KUAM special Marijuana Marianas. I'm Matsuki Hirayama. Stay safe, and as always, one love.